Alright, here's a quick recap on what we've done so far on our cheap 9mm testing. As you can see here, and if you've watched the prior videos, we've tested some American Munitions 124 grain 9mm, that's in the middle there, and the average cost on those was 30 cents per round. That's total cost. On the left hand side we have the 135 grain Tula Ammo 9mm hollow points. Those worked out to just about 41 cents a round. And on the right, there's the Koenig competition 9mm. That's 110 grain hollow points. And those worked out to just over 42 cents a round. So these are some of the least expensive 9mm hollow point rounds that I could find to test with. Each have their pros and cons. So if we start in the middle there with the American Munitions, I tested those, as you saw in the prior video, both with the 3.1 inch and a 3.7 inch barrel. Penetration through water jugs and water bottles made it into the third bottle on each of those, so a little bit lower penetration than the other rounds I tested. And with the 3.1 inch barrel, we had jacket separation and a little bit of lead loss off the core. So again, minor issues, but still some issues with that one. Then next on the left, the Tula Ammo. That tested with the short barrel. We had very minimal expansion with the short barrel. We had a little bit better with the 3.7 inch barrel, but still not full expansion. And that one also had issues with the overall length of the cartridge not fitting in my Sky 9mm, and that being a concern. On the right hand side we had the Koenig 9mm, which again, we only tested that one with the short barrel. I did not test that with the 3.7 inch barrel because the short barrel actually did penetrate to the fourth milk jug through the heavy clothing, and then also did do some minor expansion or moderate expansion, about the same size as what I've seen XTPs do. So that one actually tested pretty well. The catch on that one was in some of the cycling testing, I had some hard primers or some failure to fires where the rounds did not go off initially and needed to get a second primer strike. So again, that may have been not a round issue, but might have just been with my new Sky. So again, those competition Koenigs I may test again, and also test with a longer barrel to see how they perform. But this is the cheapest of the cheap that I could find that I've been using. There's still some Fiocchis out there that I might test, or some S&Bs, or some other PPUs. There might be some other rounds in this similar price range, but probably nothing less expensive than what I have here. And this is what we've done so far. Now, next up, stay tuned to see the next rounds that I plan to go out for. Alright, coming soon. These will be the next rounds I plan on testing. From left to right, we have the Sig Sauer Elite Performance V Crown in 115 grain 9mm. Then the Sig Sauer V Crown in 124 grain 9mm. Then there's the Koenig 9mm Defense rounds in 110 grain 9mm. Then there's the Barnes TAC XPD 115 grain 9mm. That is also a standard pressure round. Those first four are all standard pressure rounds. And lastly, there's the Winchester USA Ready Defense, and that's 124 grain plus P round. The reason for testing these ones as a group or back to back to back, as you'll see, is because of their comparable cost. Each of these were purchased by me all within the last 5 months, so this is the post-COVID or the current pricing. I do scour for sales and try to find things on sale, so these are mostly purchased online. I believe one or two might have had comparable prices in store locally here, but they were, I think, all ordered by me online. And you'll see here in a second what the costs on these rounds were. Okay, as you can see here, these are locations of where these rounds were purchased and what were paid for them. So the longest to go was the Sig Sawyers. Both of those, it was like $23 a box plus shipping and tax. It worked out to just under 50 cents a round delivered. Then we had the Winchester USA Ready. They were purchased from Borelli.com back in January. They had a sale on those. It worked out to, they were selling them 200 rounds for $100 plus tax. So that worked out to just under 53 cents a round. And then I bought the Barnes at Shields, which is a local store but also has an online website. And that worked out to, again, just under 53 cents a round total, shipped to my door. And most recently, the Koenig Defense. I bought some earlier this year, but I bought another couple of boxes here in March. Also right there at just under 53 cents a round. So between 50 and 53 cents a round I paid for each of these. So though they're slightly different, we're going to test them all. So again, here they all are side by side, what we plan to test. The SIGs are on the left. You can see the 115 has a slightly smaller opening than the 124 grain does. The Koenig 110 defense round here looks very similar to the competition round that was already tested. It may be the same projectile, I'm not sure. Then we have the Barnes TAC XPD. It's got that black coating and a nickel plated case. And again, that's the non plus P. That's the standard pressure version of the Barnes. And all the way on the right, we have the Winchester USA Ready. That is a plus P 124 grain, and that does have a polymer insert in that, similar to how some of the critical defenses and some of the other rounds do as well. And I think that's based on their new version of the Ranger 1, which is the military or police version of the Ranger. That has those blue inserts, if you've ever seen those. But this is the personal defense line, which has the red inserts. So they're all standard pressure except for the Winchester. So bear that in mind. And the weight ranges, again, we've got 115, 124, and 110, so that lightweight Koenig. Stay tuned for those upcoming videos, and comment below or like the videos if you enjoy, and stay tuned.